All right, what I'd like to do is talk about the next step in the evolving project that we're working on and give you some time to work on that. In addition, give you some time to work on, now that the server is apparently up and running, knock on wood. But ultimately, as I said, I want us to have a map of LC's campus that shows, that could be used for someone to get directions around campus. And we're doing this in pieces. The first piece that I had was to have a map, have you create a map centered wherever you are. And because we were not using mobile devices, it was using IP detection. So it was showing you based on where it thought your IP address was as opposed to where you actually were. I did bring a mobile device today so you can put your stuff up on the server and you can access it via the mobile device. And hopefully you should get more accurate information as far as that goes, as far as where you are. If I'm not mistaken, you both completed the part of the exercise to take show a map centered wherever you are, right? Okay, all right. Okay, so we're ready for the next phase, and let's think about the next phase. By the way, I did change the assignment a little bit. The first part of the assignment, I wanted two maps, one based on your IP address and one based on your actual GPS location. And I scratched the part of it of the map based on your IP address using server-side scripting, so you don't have to worry about that. So should be what you had last time is correct. What I want to show you is I want to show you an example of a map. Well, first I want to talk about how I want your project to go. And then I want to talk about a little bit more about the map. And we'll go from there. And then the remainder of the time you'll have to work on it. So if you think about how you would want a map application to work. Keeping in mind that this is to be an application that's going to work on campus. This is not a what am I going to say? An application or a web page that will take you directions to here from Cleveland or something. It's meant for you to have open up in your mobile browser as you're walking around through campus. So if you think about that, here's probably what you want to do. You'll have your map. You'll have the map centered somewhere on campus. And probably a good place as any to have the map centered on campus would be the fountains out there. All right? Right outside there. That's probably as good a place as any to be considered the center of campus. So, you create a map that is centered at the fountain. Just sort of sketching the general buildings that we have here. So the center is not going to be your location, but it's going to be some fixed position inside campus. How are you going to determine what that location is? Well, you need to know the latitude and longitude. How are you going to figure that out? Does that mean you have to be a surveyor and plot it with the stars or anything like that? No, we can use Google Maps for that. So you'll create a map that will be centered somewhere in the middle of campus here. You will then show the map centered based on that constant center, and then you will show the location of the person using a pin or a marker on the map. So right now we're in the business building about here. There'd be a little marker saying that we are here. And that will be your location. You should be able to, and I encourage you to test this, to walk around and hit refresh, and it should show you your changed location. So if you walked to Starbucks, let's say, and you hit refresh, it should show you that you're now over here. So, after you've completed the first part of the assignment, what I had for Lab 8, Lab 9 is going to be, even though I have not written it up, going to be this. Fixed point at the middle of campus, show a marker for where your location is. All right? Once we do that, how else could we enhance the page? How could we enhance it after we get that part done? That's all you're going to need to do for Lab 9, by the way. Centered in the middle of campus and a marker showing your current position that is live so that when you refresh it, it refreshes it. How else could we enhance this?
Satellite image.
Yeah, I definitely think you would want the satellite image as opposed to the map view. Because I think the map just shows a blob for Wayne Community College. I don't think it shows a individual building. So you would want to use that. That's a good point. I forgot about that. So you'd want, on the second one, you definitely want satellite image. You want the zoom to be appropriate. In other words, if I'm in Cleveland and I do this, well, you're kind of out of luck, right? This is assuming that you're on LC's campus. So the zoom should be such that you get a reasonable look at campus. In other words, you fill the map with the edges of our main campus here. So you need to set the zoom appropriate. So that would be two things that I would do. Marker for your current location. If you want an extra challenge, an indication if you are off campus, to say, hey, you are off campus. So if you are sitting in downtown Elyria, it would come up with a message that says, hey, you're off the map. All right? And we can discuss how you could work on that. When you refresh, it should update your position. So as you move around on campus, you should have it refreshed. Now, this is what I would say the requirements are for round 2. Round 1 was just a map showing your current location. Round 2 is a map showing a little bit different, a fixed center, a pin for your current location, appropriate level of zoom, and a satellite image. What other enhancements might we make, say, in round 3? We might have something where you would click on a button, a link, whatever, and it would show you where that building is. For example, it's all well and good to say you are here. Let's say you're looking for the University Partner building, which is, over here. So, an enhancement for the next round, not for this round, so it's not due. It's not due as part of the next homework assignment, but would be to have links for popular buildings on campus or the common buildings that you could click on UP and get a marker on the UP. That would be a good enhancement to make so that people could actually click on it and find where they're going. Another good enhancement would be to make this so that it updates without having to hit refresh. So as you're walking around, the page should show your marker changing as I'm walking. If I'm walking towards the University Partnership building, outside, it should show that I'm getting closer, I'm getting closer, I'm getting closer, or I'm getting farther away. That way it will be useful in determining that. So that's where we're going to take this. Again, round one was simply to have a map with which is centered at your current location. So when you get that done, turn it in. Round two is to make sure you have a satellite image, that it's zoomed appropriately, that you have a marker for the current location, that the center of the map is some fixed point on campus, like the courtyard. Optionally, a message if you are off campus. And then finally, a refresh of the page will refresh your location. All right, let's talk about how to do that. And I'm going to show you, yes?
Whenever we get to the point of adding the additional markers for, say, the UP building, do you want us to do like a line for the direction of where to go?
Probably not. We can look at that at that point.
Okay.
We can look at that. Because I know there actually is an API, if you make the proper calls, Google will give you directions from here to there. So, and I think
looked into it and they said they had like polylines or something like
yeah.
that with dashes. And
yeah, so we can look at doing that. We'll see how it goes. That would be a good enhancement. That would definitely be good to show a path from here to there. I do know that, again, they do provide that sort of thing. All right.
So are we doing this all client side or server side?
Well, this will need to be done client side because it's based on your actual position. All right? And it needs to be therefore a GPS position, and therefore it needs to take advantage of the geolocation and the built-in GPS that devices have.
Whenever I tried making a server-side map from the GeoPlugin website, it
Right.
had conflicts with the variable names because version 3 doesn't support
Okay.
variable names, so
Okay.
it'd have to be done in version 2.
Okay. I actually, if you remember back before, we didn't need to do it. So we don't need to do a server-side map now. I changed that part of the assignment. So.
I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, I was not aware of that. Okay, let's look at some map code. This is probably code or similar to code that you have used already. Whoa. It's an example I found on the web, and this one shows me somewhere in the UK. This obviously is not based on my actual position. So this does not have the geolocation in it. This has some hard-coded position. If we look at the code for this, we'll see that we'll see a couple things. All right? A few things I want to introduce. Notice we have a function here called initialize. All right, that's a function. Notice outside of that, they have a Google Maps event, add DOM listener. And what it's saying is that when the window loads, call this initialize function. Now, a couple of things. First of all, notice that your options are controlled through a variable that's set up like this. In other words, we have a latitude and longitude, we have a zoom, and we have a map type. Obviously, a zoom of level 5 means something. Google Maps Type ID road map means the kind of map that we saw, not the satellite image. Latitude and longitude is, again, the actual latitude and longitude of the center point of the map. Then, we call this method to create a new map, and we specify two things. We specify where we want to put the map on our page, and we specify the options or the properties for that map. So, where do we want to put it on the page? We want to put it in an element named Google Map. Well, that's that element right over here. And lastly, where do we get the properties for this? We get the properties for this in the map properties. Now, we talked before about how you get a latitude and longitude. If you don't know off the top of your head the latitude and longitude out in the courtyard. What you can do is you can go into Google Maps, and I can pick somewhere. Let's pick the Taj Mahal. Let's go and zoom it. I remember when Google Maps came out, I must have spent all day just doing this. Great Wall of China, pyramids, and all that just to see.
It's like traveling the world without...
It is. It is. It's like traveling the world without leaving your home. All right. So there, it shows me up here the latitude and longitude. So I can go and copy that into here. And now if we go and save and view this, we'll see that our map is centered where the Taj Mahal is. Now, it's not a satellite map, right? And the zoom is different. The zoom, we can see, the higher number the zoom, the more zoomed in it is. So if I do a zoom of 2, let's say, oh, I was going to do the opposite, back up a little bit. Shows us we're in India. If we do a zoom of 12, it will bring us pretty close. We also can set, based on this, we can set the type. I am going to guess that it is simply the word satellite. And I hope that's how you spell satellite. We'll find out, now won't we? And looky there. We have a satellite view of that. What's the highest zoom level? I don't know. Let's try 100.
I think it's 18. Whenever I was looking yesterday.
There we go. And we now have a view of the Taj Mahal with whatever point we'd indicate as the center as being the center point. So this is what I want you to do, except we're not doing it for the Taj Mahal unless we all want to fly over to India to test this out, which might not be bad, especially as it's getting colder here. But the courtyard, our little courtyard will be our little Taj Mahal, all right? And you will show then a satellite map with the appropriate level of zoom, and again, you'll figure out what seems right. All right, maybe that would be an appropriate level, I don't know. But then you'll show a marker showing the person where they are. So the center of the map stays constant. There'll then be a marker, like if I was swimming in the river, my marker would show here, assuming my GPS didn't get wet. So, want you to adapt what you did the first one and make those changes to it. And our direction will be to make an on-campus map that you could use to navigate your way around campus. Questions about this?
Do you still want us to submit
Yeah.
what we already created?
Yeah, submit that what you already created in whatever that Dropbox is. I think it's a Lab 8 Dropbox.
Okay.
And then I'll define a Lab 9 Dropbox and a Lab 10. The next few are going to build on this. We're instead of trying to get all the way to a goal, we're going to do it in little pieces and do it a little piece at a time. All right. I think that's what I had. I do want to give you plenty of time to work down there now that the server is up and to continue to work on this one. So I do have a mobile device, so you can test your stuff, so you can test what you did last time to make sure that it shows correctly. If it does not show correctly, let me know. It's possible that the GPS is not turned on for that mobile device. I'll double check the settings, but sometimes it's a problem with the device, not a problem with the code. So I'll do that. We'll be down in lab then.
Can I test it on my iPad?
Yeah, you can test it on any mobile device. That's just, I just bring one in just in case you don't happen to have a mobile device.
So to get the exact coordinates of that fountain, should we take a device out there to get the exact reading?
Did I take a device to the Taj Mahal to get the reading of that?
Oh, no.
No, I didn't. What did I do? Let's do that again. This will give me a chance to look at something else online. So I'll go to maps.google.com and I'll do a search for Mount Everest. All right, there we are. Notice there's no road showing on the road map, which sort of makes sense. Go to a satellite view. There's Mount Everest Base Camp. All right. How did I find the coordinates of it? I went and clicked somewhere, and boom, there are the coordinates. So, if I want to do, and I hesitate to do this because you never know who is watching, but if I look for the U.S. Capitol, I didn't want to do that there. I'm going to go to Google Maps and do it.
Do the Autobahn in Germany.
Do the Autobahn, all right. That's supposed to be crazy.
My mom actually served in the military over there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So did my dad, but I am not sure there was an Autobahn there. That was during World War II. All right, here's the Autobahn Motor Hotel. I assume that's the Autobahn. We get a satellite view of it. So we could go zoom in. If I wanted to be right on that car, click on it again. I get the latitude and longitude.
Not so sure you'd want to be standing there.
Not sure you'd want to be standing there. But yeah, I can pick anything I want to. So if I want to pick in the parking lot, I would go there and click, and it will show me the parking lot. So, Washington Monument. And it's exactly what I did when I first discovered this too. Wonder how that would look. Alright, there we go. We could move around and yeah, I wanted somewhere in this park here. Oops. you could just, well, that's the way.
There's the White House.
There's the White House. Uh-oh. There's a guy in a suit that comes in. Yeah, we'll have to tell him we were just doing nice things. We weren't doing anything sinister. All right. We can pick, any location. Just click on it, and then you'll use that as the center. And so you'll find LC on the map. You'll find the courtroom or courtyard. You'll click on it and do that. I actually had, and it scared me. I had an FBI agent pop in on one of my classes.
No way.
Yeah, well, and it wasn't for anything I did.
YouTube, didn't they?
No, it wasn't anything I did. They were looking at
The server, wasn't it?
no, they were looking for references for a student that I had.
Oh.
So they do a visit and they find people that that had taught them or whatever. And in the middle of the class, looked just like in the movies. The perfect hair, the perfect suit, the perfect shoes. Came, flashed the badge. And it's like, I swear, I think my class thought they were going to drag me off in cuffs, but they didn't. But yeah, I have a few questions about, did you have so-and-so? And the funny thing is, if I just have a student in a class, I might remember stuff about them, but usually, I don't remember, you folks I've had in a few different classes, so yeah, I'd probably be more apt to remember stuff about you. But some of that I've just had in one class, it's like, what would he say? Did he do anything that showed he would be an enemy of the U.S. government? It was like, man, we just did web pages about dogs and cats. It wasn't anything controversial. So I never did hear if he got the job or not. But yeah, that was kind of funny. All right, let's have at it. I will be downstairs in a minute.
Did you put up that example you did for us here?
I am not going to put up that example. You already have an example, right?
So
You already did that.
Just work it into the previous one.
You can work it in the previous one, or you can adapt it. You can see where that is. Yeah, you should be able to take what you have and build on it. Or look for another example out there. But no, I'm not going to load another example.